Wow, I never thought this day would come. Hello everybody, Trevor here. Remember my 4-part mini-series regarding the Thomas & Friends promotional material that I made a long time ago? Well, this year, we've been getting plenty more that have been uploaded to YouTube and Vimeo, and that's the subject of today's video. And yes, I promise we'll be talking about Dustin, but first, I want to discuss the Thomas Wooden pilot by Spider Eye Animation, which was directed by Morgan Francis. This short was produced in 2015, but was never released onto Vimeo until August 7th of this year. It stars Joseph May as Thomas and Keith Wickham as Sir Topham Hatt, aka the Fat Controller. The short starts off in a live-action child's bedroom with the sunlight shining onto Thomas's face, waking him up. And as he puffs along the tracks with the green 2013 Gate Mining Company coal car, we see the island of Sora coming to life as the sky turns blue and the hills and trees appear in the background. At Tidmouth Halt, Thomas sees Sir Topham Hatt, reminding him that he needs to get some goods at Ulfstead Castle. Along the way, Thomas gets water from the water tower, followed by coal from the coal hopper, and over and under the Marin Archstone Bridge. Then we get to the climax of the short where Thomas encounters Gordon's Hill, and I just love how he says, "Oh my, Gordon's Hill doesn't normally look that high." And then I'm like, Gordon's Hill doesn't normally have one line of track either. Anyway, Thomas begins to puff up the hill, but after a couple failed attempts, he slides all the way back down really fast and all the way back to Tidmouth Hall where he bashed into the buffers, much to Sir Topham Hatt's astonishment and amusement. And that concludes the short. Now, what do I think of it? Well, personally, I think it would have been an excellent series of YouTube videos promoting the Thomas Wooden Railway system, but unfortunately, it was never released to the public until now. And I think the reason it was cancelled to begin with was because of Mattel's stupid decision to end the original Wooden Railway line in early 2017 and replacing it with the more infamous Thomas Wood. But thankfully, Thomas Wood has already come and gone and replaced with the newer 2022 line, which only lasted from 2022 to early 2025. Which is pretty sad if you ask me, but I guess it's for the greater good as we need to preserve more trees and other plant life. As for the pilot's title, even though it's called Thomas Wooden Pilot on Vimeo, its actual title is currently unknown, though I think it should have been called Thomas's Wooden Railway Adventures because it sounds nice and less generic. If this short were released to the public to begin with, then I think it would have made Mattel a ton of money and success for their line of wooden Thomas trains and sets. Man, I wish they hadn't ended Wooden Railway to begin with. Now, if there's one thing I had to nitpick, it would be whenever Sir Topham Hatt faces away from the audience, his backside is completely blank, though I'm pretty sure this is for budget cuts. But other than that, I'll give this short a 9.5 out of 10 stars, just to be nice. Alright, now let's talk about the Dustin trilogy. The first of this series is called A Legend is Coming to Sodor, where we see a cameo of Spencer with his snowplow along with some snowy mountains. Then we get to see a little bit of Dustin in some shots, but his face doesn't get revealed until the next two shorts. And to be honest, this first short gives us a nice sneak peek of who's the next merchandise exclusive character in the Wooden Railway range, and I thought it was a great start for Dustin's appearance in CGI. The second of these shorts is called Meet Dustin the Snowplow, which wasn't uploaded to YouTube until Thanksgiving Day in the US. This is where we finally get to see Dustin's face reveal in CGI, discounting the promo fact sheet which was given to us years ago. Also in this short, we get to see a cameo of Sam, who for some reason has returned to Sodor when he already left in a friendly farewell along with Logan. Maybe he came back to help with the extra work, but that's just a nitpick of mine. And finally, we have the most interesting short in the Dustin trilogy, Learn All About Dustin, which was released on December 4th, and it gives us more insight into how his rotary snowplow works. I learned a lot about this one. I thought it was quite neat that Dustin can blow snow off either side and can switch sides at will just so he doesn't blow snow on the wrong side. Now, why did Mattel release these Dustin shorts to begin with? Well, like the Thomas Wooden pilot, which was meant to be released in spring of 2015, we can assume that these CGI shorts were canceled in favor of Thomas Wood products, which is such a shame, really. In addition, I think Dustin the Rory's Snowplow engine is such an interesting character, just like Logan and Sam from the last few videos before these. And that's because he can clear away heavy drifts of snow easily, at least in the show. I'm not so sure about real life, though. And like Sam, Dustin is also an American based locomotive despite being self propelled in the show, just like Marion from Tale of the Brave. What I meant was, Rory's snowplows can only be moved by being pushed by an engine, and in real life, like rail mounted steam shovels, Rory's snowplows are not self propelled, but that's just another nitpick on my part. Another nitpick I want to bring up is that Dustin didn't have any lines of dialogue in these shorts. I mean, Sam got at least summon a new friend on Sodor, so why couldn't they do the same thing for Dustin and Logan? But oh well, at least Dustin still has a CGI render. And for the sake of my own headcanon, I think Rob Rackshaw should have voiced him using his Flynn voice from season 19. But I would like to hear your ideas for Dustin's voice actor because I'm quite curious. As for the snowy mountains themselves, well, I have a theory that those mountains are somewhere in the middle of the island of Sodor, like near the Pilgaja branch line, for instance, which is closer to the Coldefell Mountain Railway. Though I could have been wrong about that because it's not very clear what those mountains really are in this trilogy. As for my overall score for the Dustin trilogy, like the Thomas Wooden pilot, I'm also going to give all three of these a 9.5 out of 10 stars for effort. I think they would have made Mattel a ton of money when it came to their wooden railway products made by Fisher Price. I also think they should have released these videos to begin with before canceling the wooden railway line back in early 2017, because they would have given kids enough hype for Dustin and make them want to buy his wooden railway counterpart, as well as his two books for the Sword Story Collection series. So yeah, those are my honest thoughts on the more recently revealed wooden railway promotional videos on YouTube and Vimeo. I hope you've enjoyed my honest thoughts on them, and if you have, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to, and click the bell icon to be notified for my latest uploads. For my next Thomas video, I want to discuss my top 5 canceled Thomas episodes and why they were canceled to begin with. And yes, I will be talking about Jameson Super ED eventually, since that's what most of you guys wanted me to talk about, but not yet though, because I need a break first. This is Trevor Davis signing off, and I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.